The following book is very important for every club player that wants to become a strong attacker. Why? It's made by about 16 chapters that cover all different possible attacks. And then there are the last two chapters in which the author give you something like 50 exercises. Okay, here you can see the chapters. They have all different names. There are both fragments of games and entire games. So you have both the possibilities to study an entire game or a fragment from a certain position. 90 games, 89 are quite enough, I think, and the 50 positions at the end are a test, and so you can check if you learn enough or not. In this review I will show you some of the games from different chapters to give you a taste of what you can find in this book. Okay? Now I'm going to show you game number 3 from the chapter 2 that is entitled King in the Center. In game number 3 we find Ratmir Kolmov as white playing against Paul Keres in Tbilisi, the URSS Championship in 1959. Paul Keres definitely in 1959 was surely in the first 10 players in the world. Okay? E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5. At the time, an attempt to quickly leave well-trodden paths. Today, this is the second most popular move with a good deal of theory. Yes, this is true. Today it's kind of quite used. Knight F6. Oh, we lost power for a second. It's still recording. Okay. E5. Modern grandmasters prefer Knight C3 or Bishop takes C6. E5, Knight G4. Today they play Knight D5, I think. And here we have a novelty. Yes, this was 1959, okay? Bishop takes C6 is a novelty. That's funny, eh? D takes C6, castle, G6, rook E1, bishop G7, H3, knight H6, knight C3, B6. B6 is not a good move. It's an inaccuracy today. It seems that Keres should have played knight F5. You know, it's obviously very difficult because honestly it seems okay, this move, right? But what can you do? Notice that the author of the book speaks of knight F5, but the example in this case it's from 2015, so we are speaking of 50 years later. That's kind of ridiculous, right? So if you were white, what would you play here? Because that's the important thing. Here there is a move that the author of the book gave a double exclam and is D4. This looks extremely logical, as white normally gives up the bishop pair on c6 to saddle black with double pawns, which robs the entire pawn structure on the queen side of its mobility. So why does Kolmov decide to liquidate these double pawns? And this is the question, right? Because these double pawns are something that limit especially this bishop from attacking. So why to play this move? Because he had discovered some unimagined dynamic resources in the position. Let's see. C takes d4, knight takes d4, and c5. It's a it's a mistake. Can you believe it? That this is a mistake. Here the author says already the decisive error. Even so, the fourth player's attacking idea was really not easy to see. It seems that again he should have played this move. At this point, for me, this move is something that a computer is telling the author that you need to play, because computers strangely are able to have this kind of defensive solution, and they continue to propose the same move over and over up to the moment when it's too late and you cannot do it anymore. So let's see why. What's going on here? c5, knight c6. A journey with no return, but the knight dies a hero. Okay. If he does a hero, Queen d7. Can you imagine the next move? Because the next move is crazy. Like always, I don't watch the games before putting them on video, because I don't want to be biased. I want to be as surprised as the viewer of this video. So I hope you try to guess right. The next move is knight takes e7, double exclam. This unleashes an unstoppable attack on the uncastled black king. King takes e7. And here there are some alternatives, okay? The author gives two alternatives for black, so it's not that he doesn't cover the theory or the analysis. Bishop takes h6, bishop takes h6, and queen f3. Wow. Wow. I don't know if you realize what happened here, but the problem is a kind of double attack. This one or this one. You need to decide which of the two you want to save. But this is going down, okay? So if you play bishop b7, he will play queen f6. f6. If you play something else, like it happened in the game, he played bishop g7, white will continue with something else. What do you think white is going to do? Knight d5, check, king d8, and rook a d1. At this point, yes, you can see that white has won. A diagram says more than 1,000 words. The perfectly centralized white pieces easily overcome the centralized opposing king. The rest is simple. Notice that Keres lose in 29 moves, so that's amazing. So let's see the last move. Bishop b7, queen b3, bishop c6, knight takes b6, a takes b6, queen takes f7, bishop takes e5, rook takes d7, bishop takes d7, rook takes e5, king c7, rook e7, rook a d8, a4, g5, queen d5, rook h e8, rook takes h7, g4, e5, g takes h3, a takes b6 check, king takes b6, and rook takes d7. And here Keres gave up, resigned. It's a beautiful game which illustrates the danger of a king in the center. Hope you enjoyed it, and eventually we'll discover more of the example from this book. I will show other games because I think in this way you're able to see what you will find inside and decide if you like it or not.